is so different, but I found myself by the end of my playthrough seriously considering if I liked it more than Asylum or Origins. It's a damn good game, and I highly recommend it.
It is immediately in my top 3 probably of all time, with Half-Life Alyx, maybe Asgard's Wrath, maybe Vertigo 2. I mean, it's up there.
It is worthy of being called a Batman Arkham game, and I honestly think that people are going to look fondly on this game in the years to come, similar to what we did with Batman Arkham Origin.
This is a game that you need to experience for yourself.
But I want to tell you to your face right now that this is one of the best VR games I've ever played in my entire life.
And I'm honestly amazed that we're living in a world where a game like this not only exists, but is actually worthy of being considered good.
Hi. So before we continue on with the video, okay, grab. Why does it sound like that? Before I continue speaking, I just want to talk about Camouflage the studio itself, because I didn't record that part and it wasn't even in the script. Basically, my channel kind of started out pretty freaking terrible. First series to ever take off on my channel was Iron Man VR, which Camouflage made. First part sits at 1,000 views, which is pretty crazy, and it's also pretty cringe.
Hey guys, welcome.
But I keep that stuff up just so everyone can bully me. And then later, the first day of school of 8th grade, I went home to see the trailer for Batman Arkham Shadow. Today was the first day of school. It was good, actually. It was actually a pretty good day. I'm a little tired though, holy cow. Gotta get back on my schedule. Yeah, we're gonna be reacting to the Batman Arkham Shadow trailer that came out today. I didn't know if it was gonna come out today or later in Gamescom, but it came out today, which makes me kind of mad, so I'm just gonna let it out. I was gonna do a reaction of it, and then I realized that's pretty pointless, because I don't really care. Yeah, Camouflage, they're an amazing studio, and I have memories of them, so that's fantastic. Kill yourself. That was a joke. Don't actually do that. Don't do that. I want to go edit this video because I have nothing else to do, and I have no friends. Batman Arkham Shadow is my game of the year. That's right, not only my VR game of the year, but my actual game of the year. Camouflage managed to create the greatest story in any VR game I have ever played, with fluid, intuitive mechanics to back it up. This game is near perfection for me. Batman Arkham Shadow is a contender for the best VR game ever created, right up there with Asgard's Wrath 2 and Lone Echo. Now for me, Batman Arkham Shadow mechanically doesn't even come close to Asgard's Wrath 2 and Lone Echo. Asgard's Wrath 2 has one of the best RPG systems I have ever played in any game, and Lone Echo has the awe of being in zero gravity while exploring the beauty of space. While Arkham Shadow has good mechanics, they never stood out to me like those two games. So why might I put Shadow over those two games? That's because of its presentation and story. There are so many little tricks that Camouflage used to make a good story way more appealing and have a bigger impact. Now why I think Arkham Shadow's story is actually really good, it's the way that it's shown to the viewer that has struck my attention more than any other game has before. There are 3 ways that Camouflage manages to pull this off throughout the campaign. At the beginning of the game, you start out playing as Matches Malone. After you set the bat signal on fire, you are shot by the GCPD. Then it plays a cutscene in the perspective of a death screen like all the other Arkham games. I remember when I played this moment very fondly because it really hit harder than it should have. This is absolutely genius coming from the developers. First of all, it shows what the death screens will look like throughout the game, but already in the first 5 minutes, it gives out a message of how messed up Gotham really is. Listen to what Gordon says during this cutscene.
Due process, goddammit! Due process!
Hutch, Pettit, what are you doing?
We're better than this!
God, has this whole city lost its mind? Give me your name.
It's Malone.
Congratulations, Malone. You're going to Blackgate Prison.
This is just a perfect way of setting up the mood of the game, that nobody is really on your side, but also everyone is on your side. Now that might not make any sense at first glance, but if you think about what the game tries to develop over the campaign, you will understand what I'm getting at. Your character has three sides to him: Bruce Wayne, Batman, and Matches Malone. Most of Gotham like Bruce Wayne, and his character doesn't play much of a role in the story because of how far his persona is from dealing with criminals. His character is only really developed with the people he knows best, being Leslie and Harvey. Batman, on the other hand, has an equal amount of hate and dislike from criminals and the GCPD. But Gordon has a much stronger connection with this character than Bruce or Matches. Some of the GCPD are untrusting in themselves and in Batman. I think this is trying to show how disjointed Gotham is with its criminals and the people who are supposedly trying to fix Gotham, that being the GCPD. Then lastly, there's Matches, which has a lot of thugs and rat members in favor of him, because his character acts as a symbol for those thugs and criminals. On the other hand though, Harvey, Gordon, and the GCPD all have an equal hatred towards Malone for the reason of him being sort of an icon or leader for the thugs. The rats seeing him as this icon leads them to believe that Malone is the Rat King. This is what I meant when I said everybody either hates you or supports you, because so many times throughout the game, different characters act differently towards different personas you put on during the game. This is the most complicated way of showing how messed up Gotham really is, which is why that beginning cutscene with Matches, Gordon, and the GCPD perfectly simplifies this message while also being as understandable. The other aspect that Arkham Shadow perfects is the dynamic between Bruce Wayne, Harvey Dent, and Leslie Tompkins. I think I said that right. I don't know. I think that's her last name. There are actually only 2 moments in the game where all 3 of them are together, not including flashbacks. The first moment was right after you were caught by Bolton, and then you were brought to Leslie, where both Leslie and Harvey are there. Now at this moment, we are embodying Matches Malone, and like I said, Harvey doesn't know Bruce Wayne's other personas, so he doesn't make much of Malone at the moment. And there's also this really brief but nice little interaction between Leslie and Harvey.
And you sure you're okay?
I'm good. Are you good?
I'm okay.
Right. Remember, Harvey, don't be angry.
I know.
Be good.
Be good.
That really helps elevate how their relationship has developed over the years. Leslie was a part of Harvey and Bruce Wayne's childhood and taught them both a lot of lessons. The flashback really gives us more information about the 3 of them, and especially a lot more of Bruce and Harvey's interaction with each other. After Harvey leaves the room, there's a really cool interaction between Bruce and Leslie to show that she knows all of Bruce Wayne's different disguises.
You know, is it justice you're after? Or vengeance?
Leslie, spare me the sermon.
Don't use that fake voice with me.
Falcone knows who the Rat King
Or
is.
that one.
Fine. All right, Leslie.
It just gives off the feeling that this is the one person, maybe besides Alfred, that Bruce can express more of himself to. So being around her is kind of comforting, and is a place where Bruce can be himself. Now Leslie doesn't play the biggest role in the game, but Harvey Dent does. I think that camouflage perfectly showed why Harvey is the way he is, without right out telling you a lot of his motives. There is a section in the game that tells the story of Harvey's abusive childhood from his father during flashbacks while you're stuck in solitary. In this whole section, the game kind of takes a pause, because being in solitary for several days has kept you from doing anything besides sleep, well, except the fact that Joker is in the cell next to you. But when you go to sleep for the several days you're stuck in solitary, a flashback plays and shows different memories of Bruce being with Harvey as well as Harvey's father. These moments in the game were so well done, because this is a time in Bruce's life where he felt fear for his friend and also fear for himself because of how unpredictable Harvey's father could be. There's one flashback in particular that I felt was perfectly told, and I will show that one right now.
You little shits woke me up from my nap.
I'm leaving. For good.
Leaving? What, do you think you can just walk out of here? Out of this life I made for you? Sacrificed for you? You know what, Javi, I'll tell you what. Why don't we let the coin decide? Heads, you can go. Tails, you are gonna get the beating of your life. Bad news, kid. Leave him alone!
Now the thing that makes this scene perfect is of course the coin flip. One, because the coin isn't just slightly flipped into the air, but in VR actually travels really close to your point of view. At that same moment, time is briefly slowed down, as well as the sound the coin makes being flipped in the air. I think this was a way of showing that it built dread and anticipation in both Harvey and Bruce, knowing that this coin is a mechanism used to decide between two factors that should instead at least have an ounce of thought put behind the decision, but end up being the victim of luck. Now this moment really sticks with Harvey Dent, because later when he becomes Two-Face, a big part of his other persona was his dad when he was drunk. The sad part about Harvey's story was that he basically became what his father was, but had no choice in it. If you think about it, his father also had that exact same split personality. It was shown during one of the flashbacks.
Thanks for trying to stop him. How's your eye?
Stings, but it's okay.
You tried to protect me.
You would have done the same for me.
Harvey! Where the hell are you?
We're in... We don't know what kind of mood he'll be in.
Harvey? What are you boys hiding? How did you get locked in here? Listen, come on, boys. It's okay. It's okay. Come on. Bruce, is it? Come on out.
His father's split personality was when he was drunk and when he wasn't. Sadly, he was drunk a lot of the time, which sort of overpowered the other half of his persona, the same way that the infected side of Two-Face ends up overpowering who Harvey Dent originally was. The reason why this is so sad is because Harvey Dent isn't the reason why he became Two-Face, but was instead the mistake of an uncoordinated punch from Bruce Wayne. Someone who had been there with Harvey since they were children was the reason that he became the monster known as Two-Face. Camouflage did an amazing job of building up Harvey's character, and knowing how sad and unfair his story really was. I wish they showed more of a reaction though from Bruce Wayne, because you probably know that this gutted him. Now we have to talk about the twist at the end, when we figured out that Joe is the one who killed our parents. Now this is the one thing in the game that wasn't handled very well. I think Camouflage was trying to put together all the story arcs and had to figure out a way to fit Joe's twist at the end of the story, and the way they did this was pretty underwhelming. While talking to Alfred, he all of a sudden plays the message that Harvey sent to Bruce.
I know you're occupied, sir, but you must hear this. The message from Master Dent is rather dire.
Hey, Bruce, things are pretty crazy right now, and I don't know if I'm gonna make it through the night, but I found him. The bastard that killed your parents, I found him. His name was Joe Chill. He was in Blackgate this whole time on different charges. Whether I swore to you, we would make him pay. And I'm gonna take care of this.
What will you do, sir?
I don't know, Alfred.
This reveal feels underwhelming because we're in the middle of a gameplay section as a message is playing in the background. Now that's not to say that the twist itself is bad. It actually adds a lot to the growth of Bruce as a character. During the matches Malone segments in the game, a lot of the time you visit Joe and you start to build a very strong connection with him. You build this image of him as a man that has made lots of mistakes and must suffer the consequences, which end up making him a better person, and notices that the things that he did in the past don't represent his present personality, but instead influence him to be better. You can just tell that Bruce actually built a respect for Joe, something he never built with any of the other people in Blackgate. I think Bruce realizes this at the end of the game, which is why he lets Joe free. This is the moment where he becomes a changed man, no longer as violent as he was in Arkham Origins and the start of Arkham Shadow. And you know, this segues quite nicely into Arkham Asylum, where he has matured a lot more and isn't as rational with his motives or the way he portrays his motives. Camouflage managed to tie everything together so nicely and perfectly connects Origins and Asylum with this game. This is the best story told in any VR game, and one of the best stories told in video games. This is why Arkham Shadow gets my game of the year. Anyways, yeah, that's it.